Welcome to the bold analysis. What are you reading in the four foreign missions by our President William Ruto after inauguration? What are you reading? By the way, in 25 days, William Ruto has made 4 foreign visits, and people have argued that how safe are we? How safe is William Ruto really sure of this? But I have decided to give it another angle. And not using anything from the clouds, I just want to make straight observations from what William Ruto did when he was a deputy president and what he's doing now, and find whether there are points of coherence. And I am persuaded that some of these missions are not purely on what Kenyans have been treated to as the normal bilateral talks and government-to-government cooperations. It is that, but there is something more than what catches the eye. If you know, it's only in this country, or rather in governance, for example, in the caliber of the office of the president, the public do not have the luxury of knowing everything. But I want us to make observation and scrutinize. And at the end of this analysis, you will agree with me that these trips are not just mere state-to-state visits. Kindly subscribe to our channel. I'm reminding us of my new campaign to acquire a camera, Canon 250D. It's the same as the one I'm using, to boost my interviews, the exclusive interviews that we are introducing into this channel and growing this channel, and of course adding value to our viewers. That has been our goal as Bold Family. So I'm reaching out to you in a special way in my capacity to just help with a donation that you can make so that you can assist me acquire a camera. And the budget for the camera is 80,000. I believe that with this donation, I'll be in a position to acquire a camera perhaps by 20th of November. So at least 50 shillings, 10 shillings, 100, whatever you have. I'll keep updating us here, and I'll close the fundraiser immediately I acquire a camera. Those who are assisting, I'm also working on improving the sound, which has been a challenge. And I believe that this is going to work. So my number is there. Kindly, any support that you can provide. Now, when William Ruto was a deputy president, and I want to say I'm shooting home, so of course there will be some other sounds in the background, a bit disturbing, but guys, you just have to bear with me because again, now those are the dynamics of working from home. Now, when Ruto was a deputy president, he made less foreign visits, and the few that he made, especially in the second term, between 2017 to 2022, turned out as investors linked, turned out as purely investment foreign visits. And by the way, at the height of some visits, some of them even made him to brush shoulders with government, Uhuru Kenyatta's administration. Now let me just point out a few to you so that you have a bearing. When William Ruto flew to Dubai, and that was, I think, back in 2020 November, with Oscar Sudi, he met Atiku Abubakar, who is currently vying for presidency in Nigeria, and is his friend. And that tour was really captured as one that was just an association between two people, and that it was linked to a business deal. Some deal that, of course, we covered at the campaign trail. Then in August last year, he also tried to fly to Uganda with Aydin, the Turkish gentleman, on what was also a purely business deal. but he was frustrated at the airport and even the Turkish guy had to be deported out of the country, only for him to reappear in Statehouse on the day of inauguration after William Ruto was actually elected as the president. And the one visit in Uganda also, he launched some manufacturing company with in Somalia, in Uganda, even though the Ugandan parliament later came to shoot down that, saying that the state was duped. Ruto's mission in February in US, remember that we analyzed about it here, with a team of politicians from Kenya Kwanza, later is coming to be, we have indicated that if the foreign countries, according to Raila, meddled with the Kenyan election, then that meeting did not yielded some fruits. I say that in his 10 years DP, he did not have many, and I've just picked those ones are the ones that he actually took. At the inauguration, just look at that. He flew to Britain. Of course, that was an burial of Queen Elizabeth. Then USA, where they accepted, or rather they revealed that apart from United Nations General Assembly meeting, he, in the sidelines of that event, he also met African US commercial business representatives, and of course tried to leverage on investment opportunities in the country. So that was there. Now back home, President made a trip to Uganda, not to Uganda, to Ethiopia, and launched expansion of Safaricom to battle it out with the state-owned telecommunication company there. He was with Oscar Sudi, and so Oscar Sudi is also confident who was in the Dubai meeting. But in this one also, Oscar Sudi was in attendance. After coming from Ethiopia, the president is on a trip to Uganda. And direct interpretation is that they're trying to assert the neighborhood of Uganda and Kenya in the light of General Muhonzi's tweets about capturing Nairobi. I want to divert a bit and say that did you know that before President flew to Uganda, or on the very day that Muhonzi was tweeting about capturing Nairobi, Sylvia Mulinge, who was at the center of activities in Safaricom here, at the success of Safaricom, was appointed as head, very powerful position in MTN, which is a telecommunication company in Uganda. So while in Ethiopia there is an expansion, here in Kenya, Safaricom employee seems to have been poached, and is now leading MTN. What are you reading? Those are businesses. You can see the business connection. Now I can tell you guys that purely William Ruto's these missions are not only on these bilateral talks, but also meeting investors. This will be a good news to Kenyans, because I'm one person that believes that the upscaling of foreign investment in this country is going to do us good and help us really merge the bottom-up agenda. Because the bottom-up agenda seems to have captured more on empowering the person at the lower part of the pyramid, and also insisting that we did not talk about the upper part of that pyramid. In fact, Joe Biden speaks about bottom up, middle out. In our system, or what I have gathered on terms of what William Ruto team are proposing, the middle out aspect seems to be missing. And we had emphasis on bottom up, but middle out is not so much covered. So on this front, these foreign investments will play a critical role to merge, or rather to fill the gaps that can emerge on implementation of bottom-up economic model. So I front that. However, this is it. I want to tell you why I see that Ruto would, in his capacity, make these foreign visits and engage with these investors. The Aliko Dangote have investments in Uganda, and by the way, after Uganda, Ruto is heading to Tanzania. Then after that, he will be back in Kenya before you know where next is heading, perhaps to South Africa after that. So what are we saying, or what exactly is playing out here? That in these foreign missions, Ruto is also meeting foreign investors. Some of them were touted to people that really played critical roles in his campaign. Now, I want to tell you that from what I see, the president is trying to midwife the foreign investments through the Statehouse boardrooms and cut out power brokers. I analyzed in one of my videos here that one of I think Nigerian investor was confessing that the challenges that they faced in the country to even establish businesses here is the executive under the former administration using the criminal justice system to clip their wings, or rather to extort their investments. So according to what they were saying, there will be tax evasion charges that will come, issues, you go to high court, after some time you'll be told there is no problem and you don't have to live with it. And of course, these challenges kept on recurring. At the tail end of it, maybe after bribing your way, you'll get back your license, but the damage is already caused, where businesses will have to stall for even a year or so. So these foreign investors seems to be, and you would actually agree with them, that they want direct state house assurance on security of the investments. And that is why William Ruto will cut out other power brokers. Because if you midwife it with the cabinet and the other aspects, they will actually extort. And even if there is a proceeds of those foreign investments, I can persuaded to see that William Ruto will directly benefit from that. Whether it's State House or in his personal capacity, I don't see any problem with that. But pitching on Kenya's foreign investment is very important. Remember, these pitches are there and just trying to open up, and he's trying to reach out to what President William Ruto, perhaps the former President Uhuru Kenyatta, did not look at, and just trying to fill those shoes, inherit those networks, and review President Uhuru Kenyatta's take on foreign mission. Because I understand that Ruto himself can have those deep commercial interests. Why not? He is a human being. And by the fact of being in the face of the president, he do not clip you from enjoying some of these privileges. Ladies and gentlemen, that's my take on these foreign missions in 1 week. And let me tell you, do you know that in the first 21 days, these first 25 days of William Ruto's government, they have met US delegation more than any other foreign mission in the country. The diplomats that they've met on the GMO, from the inauguration, there were 5. Rigathi Gachagua have also met a team. All this, there have been a lot of concentration in the US. And I can say that perhaps we are going to see a change in terms of what Uhuru was doing and what William Ruto seems to be focusing on. We are going to, and this can also be strategic, so that he will just send a signal to the Asian, or rather to the China, where President Uhuru Kenyatta really enjoyed a strong relationship, that, sometimes you go strong on the opponent of China, so that when China calls you on board, you have a strong bargaining power. And who knows, that might be a very good strategy to neutralize, or rather to re-review our debt servicing strategy, or rather our debt servicing plan. Ladies and gentlemen, that's my take on this. I can't finish to remind you about supporting our camera project. And it's amazing that one thing I've just realized is there is strength and there is growth in exclusive interviews, and of course we want to make them more better. Apart from just making one nasimama na camera and you take one shot, when you have two cameras, we can be having cutaways where you take one close up of your guest, maybe different shots. We have, when you have two cameras, it's going to be better. And I believe that this is in the spirit of helping us grow. You guys have really helped me grow this channel from 0 subscribers to 35,000 subscribers. And I believe that we are a family and we can pull this on. Please, let's try our best. And I believe that this is coming home. This will come home. Any little donation will highly be appreciated through my number in the screen there, 0710 62 78 89.